Hilda and the Hidden People, Chapter 2.
Wait,
With Martin.
you gotta tell them who you are.
I'm Heather, Katie Mae's mom. Hilda wriggled off the troll's nose and slid down its body onto the ground. There's a picture.
Got it.
The monster reared up tall. It raked the air with razor-sharp claws, and the jingling of the bell on the end of its nose was drowned out by its blood-curdling roars. Hilda was already off and running. Twig sprinted at her heels. Together they ran across the plain, dodging boulders and bounding over ditches. The troll lumbered after them. For such a big-bellied creature, it was remarkably fast. "This way, Twig!" yelled Hilda. "If we cross the river, we might lose it." They headed for the crossing point and dashed down the bank. Hilda took the stepping stones 2 at a time, sailing through the air with great long strides. Twig scampered after her. The troll plowed down the bank, slipped on the wet surface of the first stepping stone, and fell into the river with a mighty splash. "Phew," said Hilda, "safe at last." But she celebrated too soon. The troll stood up, blew 2 jets of snotty water from its nostrils, and began to wade towards them through the swirling river. "The water only comes up to its waist," cried Hilda. "Run, Twig!" In the open meadow on the west bank of the river, a flock of wafts were perched on a circle of stones. As Hilda and Twig dashed past, the wafts rose into the air with a chorus of angry snuffles. Surrounded on all sides by furry yellow bodies, Hilda could no longer see where she was going. "Hey!" she pointed. "Would you mind flying a little bit high?" "Ah!" The ground disappeared beneath her feet, and she half fell, half rolled down a steep, earthy slope, landing in a heap at the bottom. "Ouch!" she murmured. She brushed the dirt off her face and opened her eyes. Twig was standing over her, nudging her with his antlers. "Hey," Hilda whispered, "your antlers are sharp, you know?" Illustration.
Got it.
Hilda looked around. She was lying at the bottom of a gigantic dent in the ground, a crater carpeted with crushed grass and shaped like a clover leaf, a very long clover leaf with 4 toes. "It's a footprint," Hilda whispered. "Look, Twig, it's as wide as a house. Not even forest giants have feet this big." Twig sniffed at the crushed grass. He growled softly, and the fur on the back of his neck stood up. "Let's wait here until we're sure the troll has gone," Hilda said. "I can sketch this footprint while we're waiting." She rummaged in her adventuring satchel, but the sketchbook was not there. She must have dropped it in the panic when the troll rock came to life. Hilda punched the earth in frustration. She didn't know which she was sorrier to lose, her map or her troll sketches. The troll sketches, probably. Trolls hardly ever came down onto the plain. It could be years before she saw another one. The sun set and the moon rose, round and bright. They walked around the edge of the footprint until they came to a patch of tangled tree roots. Twig jumped onto Hilda's satchel, and she used the roots to haul herself up the side of the crater, back onto solid ground. She strained her ears to listen for the jingle of a bell, but all she heard was the snuffling of wafts and the gentle babble of the river. "The troll has gone," she said. "Come on, Twig, let's go home." They skirted the blue pine forest and headed west across the wilderness. Hilda could see her house in the distance, a little red cabin at the foot of Bobble Hat Mountain. Home, sweet home. They passed the catfish pond, where Hilda swam in summertime, and the hollow blood-buck tree, which was great for building dens. Orange lights shining from the windows of her house told her that Mom had already lit a fire in the hearth. Dinner would be on the table soon. A piping hot stew, most likely, and a big bowl of rowan berries. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Hilda's blood froze. She turned. Out from the shadow of the blood-buck tree stepped the troll. Its eyes shone in the moonlight. Its mouth twisted into a horrible grimace. Its claws reached out towards her. "Nice knowing you, Twig," whispered Hilda. The troll waved its stubby arms and roared long and loud, but there was something odd about the sound. It was more of a moan than a roar. "Listen to that. I think it's in distress," whispered Hilda. Suddenly it all made sense. The eyes shining with tears, the mouth twisted in pain, stubby arms trying to reach the bell on the end of that long nose. "What's up?" Hilda stepped forward. "Is the sound of the bell upsetting you? Are you having trouble taking it off? Don't worry, Mr. Troll. I can fix that for you." Ignoring Twig's yelps of warnings, Hilda darted forward and climbed up the troll. It was smooth like clay and smelled distinctly of stale bread. Moments later, Hilda was perched on the end of the troll's nose, unhooking the bell. "There," she said, throwing the bell to the ground. "That won't bother you any more." But as Hilda clambered down the troll's arm and passed its ham-like hand, the monster made its move. Huge fingers curled tight around her body and raised her to a gaping mouth. "No!" wailed Hilda. "You can't do that. I was helping you. I felt sorry for you. Stop it. No!" The troll's sharp teeth glinted in the moonlight. Its tongue lolled out, blowing foul breath all over Hilda. "Ah!" she screamed, closing her eyes. Nothing happened. She opened her eyes again. On the tip of the troll's tongue was something she recognized. "My sketchbook!" cried Hilda, grabbing it with both hands. "You wonderful, wonderful creature. Thank you so much. I'd give you a kiss if your breath wasn't so gross." The troll let out a belchy sigh and lowered her to the ground. "Thanks again," Hilda called, as the monster lumbered off across the moonlit wilderness. End of chapter 2.
Martin, are you okay? Did you like the book? Are you going to read chapter 3? Stay tuned for chapter 3 with Martin.